What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the CB-60. Alright guys, so before we get started with this video, I've got a question for you. What are some of your opinions on mouth-to-lung vaping? Since we are doing another mouth-to-lung device today, I just wanted to know some opinions on it. What do you guys think of it? Do you do it all the time? Is it something you do occasionally? Or did you start off mouth-to-lung vaping and now you're a direct-to-lung vapor? I want to know. Just leave me a comment right down there in the box below. So this one's called the CB-60 or Check Bunny 60, a collaboration project with Jake Barney and Wismec. Big shout out and thank you goes to Wismec for allowing me to take a look at this device for the purpose of making this video. And with that being said, this is a beautiful little mouth-to-lung kit. It comes all in one box, ready to go. All you need to do is throw some juice in there. It's got a nice tight restricted airflow, which is just great in coils that are above 1 ohm. So let's take a quick look online. This device is available in 5 different colors. You have bronze, green, purple, black, and silver. And the whole kit with the tank and everything is going to run you about 40 bucks. If you just need the mod by itself, you don't need the tank or anything like that, then you can pick one up for around 30 bucks, which I think is very, very affordable, even for the beginner vapor. And if you guys want to pick one up for yourself, I of course will be leaving links right down there in the description below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got the CB-60 in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging and then we'll talk about what is inside. So, typical Wismec packaging here, the black box with the silver emboss. We have the little CB-60 logo up top there and a nice little design of the mod. Wismec logo there, CB-60 logo there, Wismec.com there, and CB-60 logo there. So, yeah, all the logos. Anyways, we have what is included on the back here. We have a check mark next to our color, which mine is green, of course. We have our little UPC, scratch-off authentication, and another big old Wismec logo right there. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look inside. We have the device itself, as you guys can see right there. And I'm going to try to get this out in one piece. There we go. So let's just put that aside for right now. Now it comes with this little battery card. I'm sure you guys have seen these before. And it says, don't use batteries with bad wrappers. Well, this is an internal battery mod, Wismec. You don't really have to do that, but there you go. Your tank comes in a little plastic bag just like that. We have a spare piece of glass in case you break yours. Oh, there we go. We have the obligatory USB cable, and yeah, your typical micro USB cable. Add that to the pile. We have an extra coil. This is the same exact coil that is pre-installed in the device itself, so it's nice that they give you 2 of the same. And our little package of O-rings as well. Lots of little freaking O-rings with this one here. Lots to lose, so my recommendation would be keep this in the box. And last but not least, we have our little quick starty guidey thing here. Very basic information. Yes, I know it's a fold-out, but again, it's a little tiny one, so I'm not going to knock off 5 points. It's only when they're giant fold-out posters that I really can't stand them. This kind of thing doesn't bug me all that much, but yeah, you're pretty much basic starter kind of guide there. You know, what all the little screens mean. There's some graphics, and yeah, it's all good stuff. And on the back, we have basically the same thing with the exploded view of the tank itself. So, again, pretty basic stuff. Alright guys, let's go over the specs. First of all, it's designed in collaboration with Jake Barney. It has a spring-loaded 510 contact pin. The operating wattage is 1 to 60 watts. Built-in battery capacity of 2300 milliamp hour. Stealth function, 0.91-inch OLED display. Compact size and design. Front micro USB charging port. Dual circuit protection, short circuit protection, and low voltage protection. And for the Amore NS tank, designed for mouth-to-lung use, 22mm diameter, 510 threaded, 2mm e-liquid capacity, glass tank, top fill design with twist-off cap, bottom adjustable airflow control valve, utilizes Wismec WSO3 mouth-to-lung atomizer heads, includes 2 said WSO3 atomizer heads, and it's 510 drip tip compatible. Alright guys, so let's go over this thing from top to bottom as we normally do, starting off with this drip tip here. And honestly, I'm not really certain that this is the correct drip tip for it. I took it off the second I took it out of the box because I really didn't like it. Pretty sure this is the one because this is a metal tip and and some of you guys might know that I cannot stand metal tips, but there you go. You can see the bore right down the middle there, but personally, I tend to use this guy right here because it's made of acrylic. This is a Half Moon Mods tip that I use on this thing, and it's matchy-matchy, so I like it. Anyways, let's go on with the top cap section there. You can see no O-rings on the inside because they're on the actual drip tip itself. No problems there. Twist off top fill, not my favorite thing in the world, but there you go. It does have these little kind of slots right running down the top cap there. That is to alleviate the pressure from building up inside the tank. So it's not going to pressurize the tank as soon as you put that top cap on. So that's kind of interesting. That's kind of neat. And here's a look at the WS03 MTL 1.5 ohm coil, meant for 7 to 13 watts, and it performs quite well up to about 13 watts. I mean, I've vaped it at 15 before, but you really can't get a long puff out of it. It tends to burn a little bit. So they're not bad coils, honestly. I gotta say, they're pretty decent. They last a while. I've used this thing for a couple of weeks so far, and it's still going pretty strong. Honestly, it's almost time for a change, but there you go. Coils just kind of screw in and out, just like every other tank. Pretty much every other tank out there. Pretty easy to change. One little flaw, I guess, would be the fact that this airflow control ring just kind of sits like that on there. Not a huge fan of that. I don't know why they didn't lock that into place at all, because when you go to clean this thing, that's going to fall off really easily. Talking about the mod by itself, this is the CB-60. As you can see, very, very small, fits right in the palm of your hand. The buttons feel nice on there, a little bit plasticky, but overall pretty nice. And it's got this little clear plastic section going around the screen, and if you look hard at it, you could definitely see the little circuit board in there, which is kind of a nice touch. I like seeing that. On the top here, you have a little tiny 510 connection with a 22 millimeter diameter. So you could fit other tanks on here, but they have to be relatively small, only up to 22. Otherwise, you're going to hang over the edge and look kind of stupid. But there you go. Let's go ahead and just kind of show you guys around here. There's nothing really else to talk about as far as the mod design-wise. The charging port is right there on the front, right down there, and the up and down button obviously right there. All right, guys, let's quickly go over the functions. First of all, it's 5 clicks on and off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, instant on just like that. Same thing with off. That is just great. Power up and down right here. The top one here is power up. This one here is power down. And you can go in 0.1 watt increments by just clicking, or if you hold, it will go much quicker. But yeah, pretty simple operation there. So if you want to lock your wattage in place, all you have to do is just click and hold both of these buttons at the same time. Just 1, 2, 3 seconds right there. The keys are now locked, so I cannot go up and down here. That screen will just be displayed. And then if I want to unlock them, same thing, click and hold again, and that is unlocked. So now I can change my wattage. If you want to turn stealth mode on and off, all you have to do is click this button and this button at the same time for about 3 seconds, and stealth mode will be activated. That means your screen's not going to turn on when you're vaping it, and you can turn that off by just clicking and holding those buttons again. Just as simple as that. Then if you click the power up button and the up button here, that will activate your changing of this little bottom mode there. So basically that can be a view at your seconds that you've puffed on it, the puff counter itself, or your amperage. So I like seeing what the amperage is working at, so I'm just going to leave it there for right now. And if you click the fire button 3 times, it's kind of interesting. I was reading in the manual what the ENU setting is. That is actually a safety feature. So ENU is a safety cutoff for temperature while charging, and if you turn it off, that safety feature will be overridden. Personally, I'm going to keep that on because I like my safety features. So 3 clicks and it says ENU on, and that is where I'm going to leave this thing. But yeah, if you do end up getting one of these things, look into that. I just think it's interesting that they allow you to override a built-in safety feature. All right, guys, so that's all I've got for you in this little close-up section here. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off today with the pros, and my first pro is the battery life. I really love the battery life on this thing. I've only had to charge it once since I've got it, and with that, it's still at half, and I usually vape it between 12 to 15 watts on average. It's not my everyday, all-day sort of device, but I use it a lot in the car or when I'm just chilling at my computer, something like that. And when I don't want to fog out a room, I usually pick this thing thing up here. But with that, for all of you average, everyday mouth-to-lung vapors that are going to be using this thing a lot, you're probably still going to get more than a full day out of it. My guess is more along the 2-day mark when it comes to vaping this thing at lower wattage. And my second pro for this device is it's super duper easy to use, meant for the beginner vapor, and that's just fine in my book because honestly, you don't want to be messing around in a bunch of different menus or anything like that. With this one here, it's pretty much just on, off, and set the power, and that's pretty much it. So that is just a great thing for me personally because I like to be able to come into a review with the mindset of a beginner vapor and be able to set this thing up no problem and not have any sort of complications along the way. My third pro for this one is it's powerful enough to support other tanks as well. So if you ever want to move up from the tank that's included with this and you find something that looks and fits nice on there, then you can absolutely do so. It's a 60-watt device, basically the equivalent of a single 18650 battery. And with that, yeah, you can vape pretty much anything you want on top of here, no problem, as long as it's 510 threaded and it's about 22 millimeters in diameter. And my fourth pro today is that it's small and it's lightweight. This thing is absolutely pocket friendly. You can carry it around all day long in your pocket and barely notice it's there. It's very, very lightweight. You don't need a whole lot of extras with this one here. You're probably not going to even need an extra bottle of juice or anything. You pretty much just fill this thing up and you're good for the entire day. And my fifth and final pro for this one is basically the general premise behind this whole system here, which is mouth-to-lung vaping. I really love the fact that mouth-to-lung vaping is kind of making a comeback, especially with all these major mod companies coming out with so many 220-watt devices, just kind of trying to copy each other and go up the wattage scale there. But with this one here, it's very much focused on newbie vapors and beginners and stuff like that. You know, the people that want to quit smoking, this device right here is going to be really good for them because it kind of replicates the act of smoking. And with that, yeah, I think this device here, if I had one when I first started vaping, it would have made my life a hell of a lot easier. I was this close to quitting vaping at one point because none of my hardware was working for me. Just stuff kept leaking and it wasn't giving me enough power, and battery life issues and everything just kind of stacked up. Stuff was breaking left and right. And this thing here absolutely just tackles all of those problems head on. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is that the coils on this thing aren't really that great. These are horizontal coils with the cotton going through them, and personally I was hoping for more of something like the Nautilus BVCs where the coil is vertical and there's cotton wrapped around it. So as far as I'm concerned, they kind of screwed up on that aspect, and hopefully they fix that with a future version or maybe just a tweak to the coils or something like that. But they're so very close with this whole system, but I think that could be a fatal flaw. My second con for this one is the airflow control on it. Just kind of has no rhyme or reason. It's really hard to tell how much airflow you're going to be hitting it with, and you kind of have to check it with every single puff. If for some reason it gets knocked around in your pocket at all, then you're going to have to just kind of pull on it, and as you do that, you're going to have to spin that little ring and find out where your airflow is set at, because there's no actual holes or no indication of airflow on the little outer section there on the bottom, and it's kind of annoying because I feel like for a beginner vapor, they're going to have a hard time figuring out the sweet spot with their airflow, and then they're going to have to keep checking back time and time again every time they put it in their pocket. My third con for this one is somewhere where they missed the mark, and that is with this little indicator light on the outside here. It really serves no purpose whatsoever, and it's completely pointless. I was really hoping they kind of fixed that issue and just made it a battery life indication where it goes from green, yellow to red or something like that, but instead it's just a kind of fancy little light that turns on when you're vaping on it, but otherwise it does absolutely nothing. And my fourth and final con for this device is that the top fill could have been a whole lot better. Now, as we all know, Wismec is capable of the slide open top fill cap, and with this one here, it's a screw off, so unfortunately you're gonna have to fiddle with that every single time you go to fill this thing, and I feel like the newbie vapor could appreciate something like the slide open top fill because it's really, really easy and it's harder to overfill. With this one here, if you fill it up a little bit too high and you go to thread that back on, it's going to come up over the sides all over the place and get really sticky and nasty. And we all know that's a real pain in the ass, and that could be something that could turn a newbie off to vaping altogether. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for a review? And I'm going to say yes to this one just because I think the overall system is definitely a win in my book. I think it's great for the newbie vapor. It's kind of stylish. It's kind of, got the cool look going on to it, which can be attractive to new vapors, and it's super cheap and super easy to use as well. So there you go. So all in all, I think it's a really great kit for newbie vapors and experienced vapors alike. If you're just in the market for a nice small mouth to lung kit, then definitely give this one a look. And if you want to pick one up for yourself, I'll leave links right down there in the description below. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on mouth to lung vaping, the CB-60, or anything else you guys want to discuss down there. Also, check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.